Let's jump to this next story. We have this from the Daily Mail. Corrupt file and system reboot caused all U.S. flights to be grounded for the first time since 9/11. NOTAM system and backup were both infected with corrupt file as pilots slam ridiculous decision to ground planes. I don't believe these people. I almost feel like when you get AOC coming out calling for a Green New Deal, saying we got to get rid of planes and farting cows, that when these people ground every single plane in the country, and maybe it's political or ideological. Now, I don't know anything about that for sure, but I can't tell you this. The FAA, verified on Twitter, tweeted out, cleared update number 2 for all stakeholders. The FAA is still working to fully restore, blah, 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 you get the point. I noticed the word stakeholders. Yes, I know some people mention that stakeholder has been used in certain contexts like this for some time. But in 2021, October, the FAA announced they'd be changing their language to be more inclusive. They then start talking about how they're stakeholders, blah, blah, blah. The World Economic Forum is pushing what's called stakeholder capitalism. The idea is a shareholder is represented by those who own shares. State capitalism is represented by the state. And stakeholder is better because it's everyone. The environment, the neighbors, the people downstream, the people upstream, the people on the other side of the planet. Yeah, basically sounds like communism.
Oh, 100%.
Basically sounds like state capitalism, except for the planet instead of an individual state, where they're basically like, they actually say this on there's a website called Advanced ESG, and they're like basically saying that with a guiding force, stakeholder capitalism, blah, blah, blah. This is why it's important, because I want to show you this one. I know there are different stories. I talked about this morning, but MIA, the musician, mentioned that she got booted from a concert. The email says, we have not taken, they kick her out. They say, your tweets were bad. We have not taken this decision lightly, but we must consider the wider risks to the festival and its stakeholders. There's an important connection between these stories. The phrase stakeholder. Did this concert that banned MIA call all of their stakeholders?
Doubtful.
Did they email the people who bought tickets who are stakeholders?
Did they even define who the stakeholders are?
Exactly. They are. What they're basically saying is, we're doing this for you. We're doing all of this for you. So when the FAA is coming out saying all the planes are shut down, everyone, we're all in this together, but we're not, because they're not consulting us. They're not asking us what we want. They're telling us what they want. And they're using stakeholder as a word to make you think you're part of it. But my friends, that's like the chickens thinking they work with me when I own them.
The thing about shareholder capitalism is that it's on contract. If you have a percentage of a company or shares in a company, you have a contract to verify. Stakeholder is just, it's subjective. Like, one day I could dump trash upriver and say everyone downriver is a stakeholder in my behavior because they're all going to be affected by it. But then the next day I could say, no, I put a dam in there or a sifting mechanism. Now those people aren't stakeholders anymore because I changed the way my system works. So you have no recourse as a stakeholder in those systems. Is completely controlled from the top. I highly warn against it. I think Klaus has taken us down, or attempting to take us down, a very dangerous road, Klaus Schwab, with his World Economic Forum stakeholder capitalism. And you're right, Tim, it is communism.